himself.
All you want to do is take the chains off. That fucking. Did you play that last night?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that should have been in my. I went to sleep singing that last night.
Oh man, bro, that was a moment, man.
Before you start.
That was like the George Bush don't give it about black people.
Black people. All right, you good, Lex?
Yeah, that was good.
Camera A, camera B, rolling.
That was too comfortable, man. That was too comfortable.
Oh man, it's the Meet the Brave podcast. I am Monty Draper.
I is LG.
Lex B-U-B.
Let's go. We got it down packed. Back for another episode. We're happy to be here. This is episode 106, if I'm not mistaken. Damn, now everybody wants to call when we're doing a show.
Holla.
Oh, I can't even hear you. Don't say anything crazy on the pod. Don't say anything crazy on the pod. Oh, it's not working. Bye. Let me call you back because you're about to start talking crazy. I'm on the podcast. We're doing it. We're recording. Bye.
Enjoy your podcast.
Yo, so episode 106. This is the type of shit that happens. Like, people don't know you record a show every day at the same time every week, or at the same time every week. They still call. It's okay though. Fellas, how y'all feeling?
Good, man.
I don't even. Huh, lovely.
Lovely.
You said that when you walked in. You're like, yo, I feel good today.
Yeah, I do.
God damn. No, I don't do. No, we don't do a show every week at the same time. No, that's not what happens. What's up, G? Let me hit you after this.
Yes, sir.
You walked in and said lovely. We kind of took advantage of L. Pause. Not for real, but for real. This nigga walked in last night and just got handed something to drink and was like, all right. But it's like niggas was past that point of like aggression and like respecting niggas like tolerance. Ain't nobody been fucking drinking. We've been in the house.
At all.
So yeah, I felt the hurt coming on and just was like, let me do damage control. So a lot of water. I didn't need any no meds, just water. I was able to fight it.
Okay.
Good night's rest, and then woke up charged this morning. I made dinner for y'all got here. Dinner's ready, by the way. It's 11 o'clock. Dinner's done. I just want to point that out.
This man prepping dinner in the morning is funny as hell, man.
Hey, I cleaned up, cleaned the bathroom, did laundry.
Oh, you was on one.
Oh no, I was on one, G.
Yeah.
On one. Fellas, talk to me. What's going on, man? Turn up. Y'all look here. We here. What we doing?
I'm all the way here. I woke up singing Drake this morning. I was like, feel away, you know.
The fact that that's the song that you were singing.
I don't even know why that song been in my head. I'm talking about Eyes Open, and that song was like my soundtrack for the morning.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's it.
Yeah, I made the mistake of letting these niggas. We had a round robin to like play your songs, and so it went from like niggas trying to like impress the crew and play some turned up shit to like, nah, I want to impress the crew and play some shit that make you call your ex boo tonight. Jesus Christ, take the remote from these niggas, man.
Just wherever your mindset was at that time, you found out about it. So,
oh man,
to last night, man. But yeah, I'm trying to get it together this morning. I'm just a little delayed, but I'll get here.
What you did after you left here? You didn't go right home, huh?
No, I went right home.
Niggas always say they went right home.
I had a camera on. I went right home.
Hey, is it
what camera is it?
What camera is it? I went right home. Oh man, a couple of housekeeping things. I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in to the YouTube page. Thank y'all so much. You can find the Meet the Brave full episodes there, full episodes of the podcast there, but you can also find the clips, and that is 100% thanks to our partner and new addition to the show, Lex. I will say, Lex,
B-U-B.
that I've been getting like direct hits about what an addition you've been to the episodes, and I was like, man, let me tell him that because I think I just be gassing him when I say it. But I've had several people reach out and be like, nah, Lex on the show is dope. So thank you not only for, the contribution video wise and how hard you work on the backside to edit and all that shit, but also holding it down on the mic too, bro. So thank you and welcome. Give us a
and for going through the layover, man.
Oh, here you go. Why you had to bring that up? Why you had to bring that up?
Because you can't tell that part of the story
without telling the whole thing.
Yeah, that's for a layover, man. My man went through the layover.
My man was hired. Then he was like, "Oh, we gonna call you." Then it was like, "Man, gotta go back to work."
Man, that's cold when you got to call your job. Like, I just seen, ain't no videos being posted. To what's going on? Is it cool? Can I just slide through with the camera one time?
Man,
yeah, but you guys sound good. But how y'all look?
Oh man,
just send Monty Texas or just a camera emoji.
That's it.
And then the dude shrugging like this, like,
Nah, just old clips. just send him a clip.
Remember
like,
that time?
remember these
just
days?
reminisce over some times. You know what I mean? Like, look at that angle.
Nah.
Would you like to have that?
Y'all not gonna do me like that, man. Told y'all I was going through some things, man. But we here, we rocking. It's been great.
Ronnie, but that's not the funny story, man. It's funny our version, man.
Y'all version do be
Folks
funny.
don't care about the truth.
But see, y'all versions would be funny, and it always be at my expense. Though. That's the fucked up part. Like last night, niggas was laughing hysterically, but it was always at my expense. And you know who's the worst at it? My mom. It's bad. Like your niggas doing it to you. Pause is like bad enough, but your mother always making the joke at your expense is horrific, bruh. Like, and she thinks she's so funny. So funny.
It always comes down to the reaction, though. Like, whoever has the best
That's
reaction
what
is gonna be the one that's gonna catch it.
So it's my reaction?
It's got to be the reaction, man.
Okay. I got it.
Like, if you give the people, if you give the person what they're actually looking for,
they're gonna keep
then
coming.
hell yeah, let's run this shit up.
Oh, that's why you guys make fun of me.
Why you think Money Mo was a thing for so long?
Because I would always go into
Bro,
it. And y'all making fun of Money Mode would instantly put me in Money Mode too.
Money was not playing with that shit either, bro.
You care to explain what Money Mode was?
All right, so for people that don't know, Money Mode is basically it's like a sabbatical. It's like a
This nigga called it a sabbatical.
it's a silent retreat that you do in the middle of being around everybody else. Like it's something where you go off, like you go off to a whole nother location, but you're still in the middle of everything. You just stop responding, and you just become hella quiet and focused in on something. And we still talk to you, we still crack these jokes, but you are not present anymore. You are gone. And then, but it's not like you do this for a few minutes, for an hour. No, bro, this will last a weekend. It'll last a week, and then we just have to come back.
It's never lasted a week.
Bro, no, because we wouldn't know, because I would have to go back home, and then when I come back, then we'll be fresh and good again or whatever. But Mighty Mo was right around the corner again, so it's just a matter of just like where. I just know where I left off, and when I left off, Mighty was in Mighty Mode.
So the unfortunate part is because there's no lies there. The unfortunate part though is that whenever they talk about Money Mode, they always leave out how I got there. Like I'm just this psycho. Like I'm just this, and it don't help that I'm a Gemini. So it's like, oh, here go that Gemini shit again. Like, no.
Well, we might have did some things.
Some things, G.
It's possible.
So just full disclosure, how Money Mode would work. Hey, Money, let's go fuck. It's popping downtown. Like, let's go out tonight. No. Nope, don't want to go. I know how this is gonna go. Oh no, man, it's gonna be different this time, man. We ain't gonna leave you this time. Oh, what?
All right, so
we're not gonna leave you this time. All right, no. And I'm still like, guys, it's not even personal. Like I know y'all don't be intending to leave me, but y'all end up leaving me somewhere. It's good. I'm just not gonna go. I don't want to be in Money Mode. I don't want y'all to think, nah. So let's just y'all go have a good time. I'm gonna stay here. No, Monty, see you got to come, man. Fuck around.
We did used to gas it.
Like extra. Like, come on. Nah, I'm gonna just kick it. Like I can foresee how this night is going to go. So let me stay. L would eventually like, all right, man, leave my nigga alone. He not going. He had a partner in crime. He has a partner in crime, Lodge, that never lets up. For whatever reason, me being there is just gonna make sure that Lodge can get like they can just keep poking at me. All right, bet. Poe somehow falls right in alignment with y'all and goes, all right, Monty's here. Let's fuck with Monty now. So now all three of them like, nah, you gotta go. All right, you know what? Maybe this time will be different. Against my better judgment, I know better though. Get in the car. This one particular time though. Get in the car. We can't get in. I can't get in. No biggie, no harm, no foul. They take a partner in there.
No, Monty, you can't get in.
Oh my God.
What happened was
All
that
right.
Monty can get into this place, but Monty has a really good heart. So we used to have.
That's not what happened.
But it's better this way. This is a better story. So Monty has a really big heart, and there was this dude that used to go out with us, and he probably went out at. So we would have certain individuals because it would usually always be me and my partner, but we would have other inserts. So like insert such and such, insert such and such. The reason why they're inserts is because they wouldn't last very long. Like they couldn't make it through the full terrain of like the own ones that we'll be on. So,
This is Lige and L's night. They'll go from Sac to San Jose, making stops in between, and then go say, "Oh, you couldn't last." Excuse me, I signed up for one stop, nigga. You just made 7 and covered the whole northern part of California.
So what he's talking about is structure. We ain't got that. We ain't got that. We bounce around.
See, what he's talking about is structure. Nigga, this is not the Last Dance documentary.
we bounce around. So things, just random things pop up, and then it grabs our attention. So therefore, we can't miss it. Like this is before FOMO. Like we gotta go to it. So we would have a partner. So this partner, he was only with us for 2 outings. The first outing, he thought he learned his lesson. No, he thought it was just an anomaly. Like, oh, this wasn't, there's no way that's how
That'll
the night
happen
will go
again.
or whatever.
Bullshit.
So this time, this was the second night out, and he decided against his better judgment, went with us again, and was at this place. He got messed up before we even got to inside of the club. So when he walked in, he automatically felt sick. So he walked back out, and then he went to the car. Monty went back to the car. And he was the dude was passed out, so he had to get back in the car, lay down. Monty with the big heart had to watch the friend that we brought to the situation. All right, but it's better this way. And so what happened? So we in the party, we clubbing or whatever, we good. So we come out after the fact, and all we see is a murder scene. We just see a guy hanging out of the back of the car with the throw up trajectory all the way down the side of the car, and him just hanging out, and Monty in Monty mode, looking at us like, nigga, never again. And we look at him like, damn, that's crazy, because you could have been in the club with us at least to know that he would have been doing this outside of the car. Like he wouldn't even be able to make it back to the car.
Their logic is sick.
Bro, like, hey,
because he's not wrong.
you got to get out there and figure it out. Like, bro, like nobody, like I'm not out here to babysit grown adults. Like this ain't happening.
In theory, he is not wrong, and that's why it's so infuriating. Because he's like, nigga, that nigga's grown. I'm not babysitting him. He got this faded. He can take care of himself. He can sit outside on the curb for all we know. But we're not missing this. And
if he can't take care of himself, he will figure it out. Like he'll figure out that, oh shit, I should never get that faded again, because last time I ended up getting that faded and I ended up in somebody's jail cell, or I ended up in somebody's trunk. Just the wild range of spectrum that can happen. But nigga, you learn, nigga, you won't do it again.
He's not wrong. I'll just say that he's not wrong.
That was just one.
So that's one story. The other story is we're having a great night, and we start driving around. We hit a couple spots, and then on the way back, I fall asleep in the truck in the summer.
Forgot about that.
In Sac. So the night was fine. It was that when the sun hit at like 6:55, nigga, I was sweating in places I didn't know I could sweat, and I would sleep in the car. So it was that weird sleep, and I was like, oh. But they left me in the truck, took the keys, the alarm is on. In the middle of the complex. And so I'm like, and you know that morning pee where you gotta pee for real? I go, damn. And I go, it's 6:55 in the middle of an apartment complex. they just gonna have to be mad because I gotta pee at this point. Man, that was the most. It'd be shit like that. In hindsight, it's like, nigga, they just gonna have to be mad at this alarm. But it was a real like debate. Like, man, am I really trapped in this truck? Like for real? Like, is the alarm? How long the alarm gonna go off? Like, trying to do the math on it. And you remember when you set the alarm off? Like, it go off eventually, but sometimes it felt longer. This was the day that it felt like it lasted the longest, and it felt like it did instead of doing one cycle. That shit did at least three.
That had that top of the line alarm, boy. That nigga, the whole complex had to wake up for that. But at least just for full disclosure on my side, I did ask Monty, was he okay, and was he going in? And then I said, I bet. So I'm gonna lock the gate. I'm gonna lock the door.
Gee, but you did though. I'm almost certain you probably did ask me. You know good and well I was incoherent. You know good and well.
But I had to do my part.
That was your part.
That was my part.
Hey, you good? No. I got one more. So his redeeming qualities are why. So people go, why you keep going if this is what's going to happen to you? So Ella have them nights like that where he leave you in the car, and then he'll have an epic big cousin night where.
Yeah, so it wasn't always trash. Like it was like. Wow, that shit.
So we get
Which those weren't even trash. Like it was just the decision that was being made. Like it wasn't a click.
I'm 18. I just turned 18. I fly to Spokane. He's barely 20 at this point.
Oh yeah, I got my nigga, bro. I got you.
So it's like, yo, we going to downtown. It's like, bro, I can't get in. You can't even get in. He's like, fuck you mean you can't get in? Not only does L get into the bar that's packed, mind you, this nigga walks into the bar, goes behind the bar, and is like, yo, what y'all drinking? And start. Am I making this up?
Nah. I was in there making Long Island iced teas and
this how you know. This how you know you young and dumb. Because Long Islands are disgusting. Why were we drinking Long Island iced teas, bro?
Because they get you there
fast. So I'm there fast. I don't remember how bad they were. I'm just to make the story tight. I'm gonna be like, they were bad. Probably not though. But in my mind they were.
No, but downtown used to be jumping, so you wouldn't even think about how bad the alcohol is if the surrounding parties was just like great. So like it'd be like hella women, just hella good, just a good time.
No, we're having a fucking blast.
Music is right.
At some point, I start seeing double. I'm not gonna make it. So I know my limits. I need to find some air, and I need to find somewhere that's out the way to go just like collect my thoughts until it's time to go. But if they leave, I can find my way. It's all good, fellas. Y'all have a good night. That's how we operate. So I know that. So I find the most tucked booth on the patio where ain't nobody at, and I just put my head down. I'm like, nigga, hold on, because you ain't gonna make it. This nigga. Before I knew it, I was like,
I'll tell
you gonna pick it up from there?
They pick it up because I walk outside. Cause I'm like, bro, I ain't seen money in a minute. Cause I just been out here just like, bartender of the year, bro. Just like pop, 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 pop. Other bartenders taking breaks and shit. Pop, pop, pop. Just filling up the bar or whatever, right? So I come outside, I'm like, nigga, where the fuck money go? I'm still looking around, bro. I can't see this nigga nowhere. And money big, bro. So I'm like, where the fuck is money at? And then I look over to the side, I'm like, all I see is a trail of just a puddle of throw up. That's all I see. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I look at the corner, and then Monty is just like ducked down on the table, just with the trail of throw up down there. And I'm like,
One of those.
oh no! I was like, nah, my nigga ain't about to go out like this. So I'm like, bam. So I go sit down. I'm like, Monty, you good? It's like, all right. So give me 1 second. So I went and grabbed some water. Get this nigga some water. Then
good redeeming qualities.
Yeah.
Right?
Then me and Monty, like we gradually I picked up money. We go over to the next booth over, 2 booths over, sat down, got his mind right.
Hold on. There's a reason he's doing all this though. Of course he's checking on me to make sure I'm okay, but now you go. Now you pick it back up to explain why you're taking care of me so well.
Because so it was some chicks that was interested in trying to figure out like who Monty was, and also I messed with her. So it's like
he had one, she had a friend, and he's like, oh, my cousin's here. I can put this together. goes to find his cousin. I'm over in the corner dying. So now he's like, oh, fuck. I gotta put this
bring
together.
this nigga back.
I gotta bring it back to life.
Clear.
Bro, but did that not work?
No, it didn't work.
Bro, they can't. So, all right, so
Okay,
luckily on the
work.
patio, there
It did
is
work.
nobody out on the patio at this
It did
point.
work. It
Like
did work.
everybody's on the inside because this is at the very beginning where everybody's still just getting trashed. So nobody's went out to the patio just yet. So we
Ace and Coco, we're doing the podcast.
So we wanted to know why didn't you have us call in and say something?
You gonna say something, AC?
AC woke up singing this morning. I need a diamond tap. Remember how you get y'all diamond tap?
Mom, you can't say that on the podcast. Okay, bye. Bye.
Erase that.
I'm not gonna erase it. You going to jail. Love you.
Love you too.
That's crazy.
Remember when I used to give y'all diamonds?
the statute. Nah, but that was before everybody came out to the patio. So at least so it was enough time to be able to move money over, get his mind right, and then people started trailing out, and then folks was like, they sat down at their table, was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy, like we just saw that shit too. So I'm like, I just haven't had a chance to go back in and tell people to come grab that. Like, I don't know if they left it over from last night or somebody from this morning. So I'm over here doing the cover of story while Monty is over there trying to get as much liquids and fluids in him as possible to bounce back, because I still got this action for him inside the place. So I got to make sure that at least he has a chance to have a conversation.
He don't want me to come to Spokane and not have one of those stories. It's a great. His intentions are great.
They're peers.
Meanwhile, I'm over here dying, fam.
No, that's not the worst one I caught you as though. Like
What?
when I ended up going over to the I forgot where I went up going that night, but probably went to somebody's house or whatever, and you was just left with what's the name?
With Rav and
Rat-
Mano.
and Mano.
Oh yeah.
So that night where y'all ended up
So they had this rule.
I don't know what y'all did. I just remember what I saw when I came in, and that was was a body.
They had this rule where they just didn't lock the front door. So all right, bet. We go, me and Mano go back to the crib because it's like
This is our summer place. So we're all like in like an apartment complex right now.
Our home. Shout out Mano. He was about to just drop me off. He has something up. He's gonna drop me off. We get to the apartment. It's locked. Mano goes, oh, what kind of windows is these? Oh, don't worry about it. He's from Yakima. I didn't know Yakima niggas was giving it up like that until I met Mano. This nigga took the window off the hinge. He didn't have no tools, no nothing, just bare hands, just take the shit off. It's like, there you go, money. Peace. I climbed through the window, somehow grabbed like trees and shit. Don't let him tell it. I had a branch in the bed. That ain't how that went, bro. Like the way you had to get in the window was some shrubbery right there. So I pulled something with me in the window,
bro. So that was Monty's perspective on whatever happened that night. I don't know. I wasn't there for that. I just know that I came in the following morning, and what I saw was, so I come in through the front door, and in this apartment, when you walk in, there's a bedroom over to the right, which Rav was staying in, and then there's the kitchen to the left, and then when you walk a little bit further, you got the kitchen to the left, and you had a living room to the right, and then you walk down this hallway. So when you get past the living room part and you get into this hallway, all you see is there's barbecue sauce on the wall. There's ranch on the ceiling, like just like dripping down.
I didn't have nothing to do with this part.
Bro, like, and I knew when I saw the whole thing, because we used to do pranks all the time. So I'm like, oh, this has Ravio written all over it. This whole thing. So I'm following the trail to where the shit is leading to. So you walk a little further down, there's a bathroom to the left, and then there's my bedroom to the right, and then there's Pargo's room in the back. Pargo's out of town right now. Pargo's back in Chicago. So I'll go to the back. That's where I have money staying at. So I'll go back there, and when I walk in through the door, bro, I see Monty laid in the bed with a tree branch coming through the window, and him hugging that. On top of the tree branch is balls of bread, like just like rolled up pieces of bread, and then there's like barbecue sauce and like just hella random ass sauces, right? And I'm like, what the f-? I was like, what did y'all do to my cousin? What is going on here, bro?
Yo.
So I had so many questions, man. But that was just a visual for you, bro, because it was such a scene that led up to it.
Dog, the only part of that night I remember
Forensic scene
is Ravio showing up with the biggest bag of Jack in the Box I'd ever seen in my life, and was like, yo, because Rav was the type that get blacked out drunk and wake up and run 3 miles no matter what, like. Like, I'm blacked out, but I got to get up on time, go run, hit the jump rope, and go get these shots up. No matter what he did, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Rav goes, yo, Monty, no excuses, man. You got to get up for this workout in the morning. We got to get him back to life, guys. And I don't remember if Mano came back or what, but you wasn't there. So Rav goes and gets the whole loaf of bread and was like, yo, you got to eat this bread, man. It's going to soak with alcohol. Like, I remember that conversation, but how the bread got balled up. And how the remaining loaf of bread was just in the bed. And then like I was like storing it away, I had bread in my drawers. Like when I woke up in the morning, it was like bread, like I didn't have no pockets. So I just put it in my drawers. And when I woke up in the morning, it was like, oh man, this is the dumbest shit ever. I can't believe we're telling this story.
Bro, this scene was so fucking funny, man. Oh shit. Yeah, so man, that's the enjoyable days of but that is the whole thing of Monty Mode though. So there is a reason for Monty Mode, but I don't want Monty to act as if Monty Mode did not have really, really fun times attached to it. Like, he would eventually end up in that, but we did take him on one, and there was stories that came from there. Whether it was at the expense or not, bro, it's just a matter of our shit just continues to go on. So we don't think about the bad portion of it. We just think that the entire thing is epic. So you gotta have so much bad to get to epic.
Yeah, that is true.
I think that's
That's
just
the
what
hero's
it is.
journey.
You feel me? Thank you, Lex. Thank you. Nah, man, that's the truth, man. Not that you put it like that.
But see, look, if none of that bad happened, you wouldn't have had that great story to tell.
You feel me? That's a forever story too. Okay, we got building a little action there.
Let's try. Don't look like it's gonna work. How you feeling? Can I call special now?
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Nah, we can wait. We can wait.
This nigga asked us and then tell us now.
No, I wanted to get to.
Nah, we ain't doing it. Nah.
I wanted to get to some of the topics though.
Yeah. What we got, man?
Jesus Christ.
Where you guys want to start? Music?
Well, you have to start with music. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's true.
Where else will we start?
So
Y'all gonna act like don't act like the Canadian ain't pull up on niggas.
mans,
Made niggas tuck their whole summer in, nigga.
mans.
That's what mans do.
That's what mans do.
And then get on live and play more music. Like, you niggas might want to take fall off too.
Damn. So Drake dropped. Not that anyone needed us to tell him.
Kind of messed up JoJo's drop. JoJo thought she just had the weekend and shit.
Nah, that ain't how that worked. What? Cause let's not play with it. What is the consensus? What are you taking away from the Drake album?
I fuck with it. I saw people tripping off the fact that, well, they were thinking more so that it was a collection of songs. They got so caught up on the collection of songs part of like being throwaways and stuff. So I felt that it wasn't given as just listen just yet. But I mean, for artists like that, I'm not so caught up in how the album is, to tell you the truth. Even if it is album, like when they drop something, I always want to know if there's a song or 2 or 3 that I archive. That's what I'm just wondering. So like, if it isn't like their actual album that they're looking to drop, if you got a few songs that I can take, like I hella fuck with Losses. That's one that I archived. I was trying to get War for a minute, but that finally dropped to be able to grab. And then Desires, my nigga. Like, hey, if I can get some toxicity on a track real quick, Let's go
Bruh.
for it.
But go ahead. What do you got?
That I was just saying, desires is them niggas is kidnapping women. I would not be surprised if they just got women in houses all around the U.S. and they don't get to go out or anything.
Should have put you where nobody could find you. It's a crazy line.
I mean, all you got to do is lure them with purses. Just put a
Trail of purses.
a purse like every 6 feet from each other, leading to a closet somewhere. They probably still in there, just
and
still
a
looking at
Fashion
purses.
Nova outfit.
They probably didn't even realize that they still in the closet, bro. They just like, fuck, look at that Chanel.
Look at that shit. They didn't even realize they was in the closet. It's crazy. Wait, so I have a serious question.
What's up, man?
Because there was a time there, or maybe perhaps I have it wrong. There was a time when people didn't really seem to care about albums, but for whatever reason, they're real stickler around Drake and albums. People don't seem to care about albums until they're forced to care. Section 80 came and kind of forced people to care about bodies of work.
Yeah.
That was a time when it didn't seem like nobody really gave a fuck. Cushion Orange Juice came and it was like, yo, this is a great album you got to listen to. It was a great mixtape or whatever you want to call it. All right, cool. I'm using that era specifically because that's Drake. I think if we go back and revisit Drake in hindsight, like his catalog, it's a lot more classics that niggas want to give credit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? I'm not crazy in feeling like that.
Nah.
I think Drake is just an amazing single maker. So, like, I don't think these things are put together in a collection. Like, they don't feed off of each other. It's just they're their own entities because he's kind of going off ideas. I think Trey Songz is doing that for a while too. Actually, who is that I'm thinking of? The Weeknd. The Weeknd does it really well. Like if you look at House of Balloons or
Trilogy and all that shit,
the whole trilogy deal, he would go off of maybe a sentence that's an idea, and he can make. Or if he had like a paragraph of things that he just focused on, he can make 6 songs out of that paragraph with each sentence. Like if you go back and listen to the trilogy, you'll see that in each song, like the birds or falling or just random songs on that album, you'll catch it and you'll be like, damn, that's Thursdays. Like it'll just be a random concept that you have, and then you make a song off of it. So I think it's just a little different than album concept.
So but I'm never gonna go looking for depth or anything dense and like of any substance. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't feel fair to always try to go expect that from certain people. Drake has been consistent in not saying shit but saying a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if that feels like a slight, or if he would take that as a slight, but in comparison, if we're talking about who he's naturally put in a class with, Fam ain't really said nothing, nor does he really have to because the songs are so good. So kind of you're put in that space, but I'm confused as to why the average consumer, when it comes to him, or when the conversation comes like, well, it ain't no album. Oh, damn, we're disappointed it ain't no album. Why does it? It don't matter. This playlist of songs is going to run and it's going to run great. Like, if you're reading this, it's too late. When you go back and run that from top to bottom, I don't know what's really fucking with that. Like, seriously, and how well it aged, right? Like, in real time, you're like, I don't know what this is. It sounded different. Now, when you go back and run that album, shit. Go back and run Nothing Was the Same. Yikes. Views. Yikes. Like,
yeah, that's something to be said that you just touched on, is that his catalog really ages well. It's crazy how well that, like, if you, even when So Far Gone was redropped, like it was nostalgic, but it still was so ahead
great.
at that time that
great.
it's kind of up to date now. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. But I think it might be though that people get so carried away in people's lists that they get frustrated with people putting people on pedestals over other people on a pedestal. I don't get that I don't get that conversation. But if Drake is being put in the same category as Kendrick, then naturally, if you're a Kendrick if you fuck with Kendrick, then and Kendrick has set a certain bar, you would expect everything that Drake to drop has to be up to that par. But they're not. I don't see them being in the same like
At all.
operate in the same space.
And so but
still be in that top tier.
and so that's I feel like that's what makes them special. It's two people. If you're Kendrick, you're going, damn, he's having success doing this. Maybe I should implement some of that. Instead, Kendrick's like, nah, I'm gonna do me, and it worked. And vice versa, Drake's like, damn, Kendrick's having success doing the whole mysterious sort of deep shit. Maybe I should try that. And Drake's like, nah, I'ma do me. Like we wouldn't even receive that well. If Drake did To Pimp a Butterfly, we would laugh at him.
that's actually
Seriously.
That's
No.
actually pretty funny.
We would roast him, bruh. If baby,
No.
this dick ain't free. Like, wait, what is Drake saying? Kendrick gets to do that.
That's one wave that Drake is not gonna ride.
It's funny to think
doesn't even
of.
want to.
Kendrick is the only sort of pocket that Drake goes, I'm leaving that alone.
Yeah.
Like
No, for sure.
I'll steal everybody else's steez, but that you got it, man. Even Cole to a certain extent, he's like, nah, nigga, you got that, G. I'm not fun. The shit that Tyler does, he don't really touch that, like, because it'd be weird. And I the self-awareness, we keep talking about it, but
Self-awareness
I
so
can't help
important.
but applaud it.
Yeah.
Because at any given point, it's like, I don't really fuck with this man until you get, like, on a nice day like this, you get around a group full of women and you like, damn, this shit kind of going though. So you a hater if you peep that it's going. Now you really, I don't like it though. Nigga, I just seen you jamming. Like,
All the shit.
all this shit, you really, nigga, you got your linen suit, your shit ain't buttoned all the way, nigga. You all right? You just a hater now, nigga. Like at this point, you're just hating.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you be out there, like when you be at them pool parties or at the house party or whatever, and that shit come on, and you end up mouthing the words, and you talking
You
to
busted.
a broad,
You busted.
You got caught, man. You got caught. You used them words to talk to that broad, man.
So yeah, Drake, OVO, salute on another. Not that y'all niggas need it, but just another great sort of release. I think, if anything, with the new music, Mozzy. I just turn that on, let it run, and it's not too soon to say fam needs a statue. Like that kid's just different, bro. Like
How old is Mozzy?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But he's part of like the young group.
Probably he ain't old.
Like his 20s?
He gotta be. I know he ain't as old as me. That's for damn sure. Can't be. Even still, if he is not still a salute. I don't mean to call Brad a kid if he ain't a kid, but I feel like he's younger than me. What you find, Lex?
He's 32.
Get the fuck out of here. Man, I take it back. That nigga wise, man. I thought this was a young nigga kicking shit.
Yeah.
So whenever Mozzy talking, I'm like, damn, where'd they get this old young nigga from? But even at 32 though, I'm kidding, obviously. Even at 32, it highlights something special in advancing. I don't know how many of the Kenya Barris interviews you guys got to see.
Oh yeah.
This last week, just like talking about the criticisms that Black as Fuck received and like welcoming the critique, like not running from it at all. And the one thing that was consistent in his interview was talking about everybody kept asking him why he titled every episode because of slavery, like it had something to do with slavery. And he's like, what I uncovered from my research and just reading for the show is like, if history and how they tell it to us is correct, and our people were enslaved for 400 years, that's a lot. Like you can't even dismiss that and kind of like, oh, you exaggerating, it was only 200. 200 is a lot. Like that's a really long time for a particular group of people to be enslaved. And how generations work and how traditions are how traditions are developed and passed down, and how certain things are just ingrained in said cultures and said peoples. It only takes 2 generations for it to happen, for it to become ingrained as a part of those people's identity and their makeup. So if you're talking about 400 years of slavery, It's a lot of shit that we're having to undo in like rapid paces at a rapid pace with all these different variables that you can't necessarily equate for. And for whatever reason, as he's talking, the person I think of all the time is Mozzy, because of where his content started from, what it's evolved in. He's still with the shit, but this is an elevated, sophisticated, deep delve into the mind of somebody suffering from PTSD, and he talks about it too. He's talking about going to seek therapy and like all the trauma, like wanting to rid himself, like seeking help to rid himself of trauma. And what better spokesperson of a young black man that has had success? Like that's who I want to hear from. I don't really want to talk to nobody else. Like that's the representation and like somebody I can identify with. That's who I want to, because it started out like the ignorance was the most appealing shit in the beginning. Like bro didn't give a fuck. Now you can see him caring, meanwhile navigating, keeping his core and like his core beliefs intact, and like but still evolving and pushing himself to evolve, man. So I just want to send a salute to Mozzy, to Davo, for just continuing to push the envelope. The Eric Bellinger feature, like it was a lot of features on there, but it was a well curated body of work, man. And so I didn't want to I didn't want to speak about new music and talk about what Mozzy has meant, for me as a fan. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Any other new music I may have missed?
No. My Turn has a deluxe. I didn't get a chance to listen to it just yet, but is it not My Turn? Yeah, My Turn. Right? Doesn't Lil Baby have a?
Oh, it is. A deluxe did come out.
Yeah, so I think a deluxe did come out. I didn't get a chance to listen to Mozzy. Yeah, I need to listen to that. I didn't have a chance to listen to My Turn deluxe yet either, but I did hear another great things from the 6 songs that was released on it. So I gotta tune into that. And then JoJo. I like to.
JoJo's a legend.
I want to see what JoJo talking about in 2020.
JoJo's a legend. Real quick, I'm a Dow special. We're just gonna shoot the shit with her, tap in, just to see. I told her she tunes in every week, and she hit me about our Newsweek recap.
Hey, yeah, I had to watch that all the way through again.
Hello.
Hi, is this special?
This is me. How are you?
I'm good. This is Monty Draper, LG,
Hello.
and Lex BUB from the Meet the Brave podcast.
Hey guys, first time, long time. Happy to be here.
Yes, welcome.
Hello.
Happy to have you.
Special, what's going on?
Nothing, just hanging out. How are you guys?
We're good. A little hungover on the show, so we're fighting it out, but we're making it. You and I talked briefly last night, and I was like, "Damn, I want to talk to Special on the show about so much," but
You and I without the TY.
specifically about Pod Recognized Pod first. What you have coming, what you're working on, and then a few get you to chime in on a few topics. You got a second to bear with this?
Yes, no, I'm juiced. This is one of my favorite shows. I got all the time in the world.
So I'm impressed with Pod Recognized Pod for so many reasons, but I want to make sure I'm not putting hella much on it and calling it something that it isn't. It just feels like a mixer, a networking space, but in an efficient sort of way where there's less emphasis on the kick it and way more emphasis on the sharing information and like growing and like networking for real and like doing the things that people aren't necessarily aware that they need to do to be a part of an industry. Is that what you initially saw it as?
in a way, like, I initially saw it as podcasting is a super solitary medium, and people do it by themselves or just with their co-hosts, and they don't really have a place to talk about it. And it's becoming such a big industry that things are constantly changing. There's all types of networks. There's all types of service providers. There's just so many different things. There's so many ways to market it. And I was like, why can't we hang out and talk about it? So that was really just the vision. It's like, I have all these friends that do their podcasts so many different ways. Plus, there's so many podcasts in the Bay Area. We need to have conversations around it, and it kind of evolved into what it is now.
Wow. So and then what gave you that foresight to do something like that? Did you see that somewhere? Is it a particular background?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, and then I started looking it up. I'm like, okay, this makes sense for all these people to meet in a room, but let me, do the proper research. So there are podcast groups, honestly, throughout the country and throughout the world. So there's a couple here in the Bay Area. So I started going to those, and they were great. I'm very thankful for them, but there were certain things to me that were missing. I didn't feel like there was enough connection. At Pod Recognize Pod, what I do is after every session that we have, I just make a quick Google Doc that has everybody's show and their email address, and then I post on Instagram and Twitter a photo of all of us and tag as many people as possible. And those were just little things to where it's like, okay, we had this experience, we had these discussions, but it needs to go a step further than that. We still need to be connected. So that to me was the biggest thing out of all the other ones that I had seen, was just like, no, there needs to be a connection afterwards.
And then, especially you, because your background is radio, whether it be college radio, and then in one of the bigger radio stations in the U.S. being KMEL, you've seen some different things. So, do you remember the conversations inside those buildings as podcasts were becoming more prevalent and like towards the forefront, and you were seeing the success of the Rogans and all these different people that were generating millions of views daily and sort of bypassing the tradition of like syndication?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I think in college radio, it was like, oh, podcasting is a way to upload your show somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, it was very basic. Like, okay, you're going to do your radio show, and then this is how you put it on the internet as a podcast, and boom, there it is. And hopefully, I really hope that they're expanding that, especially at SF State where I went, because their broadcasting program is so dope that they need to take it a step up and do it more podcast style. And then in radio, it was funny. Like, it's kind of hilarious to me because people were doing it and we saw it. But at first, to be completely honest, in my opinion, they really saw it as an enemy. And to me, that's such a mistake. And then they finally came around, and I mean, they took it seriously, but they did it the way radio does anything. You look at that Ron Burgundy show, and you look at all these shows by all these huge people, but it's like, hey, there's people in your actual building doing podcasts. But in my opinion, you guys are super excited about the big money ones, the big people ones, and accumulating networks and doing all these other things instead of doing it right at home. Like, they facilitated it and they kind of fostered it, but I just feel like they did what they usually do and just go after the big people. So that was their method.
Damn. See, Special, that's why I want to talk to you. Just inside perspective. I sit on, the guys don't do it so much, but I definitely sit on here and just sort of ramble and rant about conspiracies and all these different things. The man being out to get us, and the radio sort of rant has been that's one that's just consistent. So that was another thing I told the guys before we called. I was like, yo, there's one thing for me as a fan to go, the radio should play this. Why they ain't playing this? There's politics. Politics exist everywhere. For as much as you can share and are willing to, how little does the average fan really understand about the politics in and around radio?
To me, it's I almost don't I guess we call it politics because that's an easy way to kind of look at it. To me, it's not even so much politics. Like, I hit you yesterday because I was listening to your guys' show from a couple weeks ago, and you guys were talking about newsroom, and you were talking about how the foundation of news on TV came out of 23 hours of consumerism and an hour of like community kind of like letting you know what's going on and stuff like that. You have to think about radio the same way. Once again, in my opinion, because it's all this advertising, and believe it or not, as much as you want to think that it's something that's not, to me it's really okay. The music that they're playing is advertising too. Who's paying for that? You think about all these record labels, you think about all these different, I mean, it's mostly record labels, but people have different deals and stuff like that. So it's all politics around money. Like, okay, what are we garnering money from? And I think one of the most interesting things for me is when I was in college, I was on the speech and debate team, and I wanted to do a speech on something that was relevant to my field because I knew I wanted to do radio and I was obsessed and all this stuff. But I looked into how the ratings in radio work, and they may have changed within the past 10 years or whatever. But for the most part, like, there's a select, very small group of people that wear these little pager things that kind of catch radio frequencies. And those are the people that I want to say they care about at the end of the day. Those are the people who are running the ratings. So it's like, to me, the rating system is super flawed if you think about it that way. Like, these are the people that they're literally catering to, on top of catering to mass appeal. And we know the problems with mass appeal. Like, to me, especially in, you know, quote unquote independent or underground hip hop, we're always talking about like, don't sign to a label. And it's like, you can't not sign to a label and want to be on radio. Like, to me, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the quote unquote politics.
Damn, I know that the balance, right? The balance, because it's so easy. Like you just said, you want to be independent, but you want to be on the radio, fam. That's just kind of, it's hustling backwards if you really want to know the truth of it. So, no, I appreciate the dialogue, special. We like I said, we're sluggish today, but you kind of picked it up. And then one of the topics we were getting ready to dive on that I was hoping to keep you around for is I often get hit about some like mentor shit often now, and I imagine the same happens to you. I know that's been happening to L forever. One of the parents be like, "Yo, can you talk to my kid?" And it's like, "Yeah, I could, but all right." And so I had a homie reach out a few weeks ago. His son is getting into music, and immediately it was reason after reason why they needed something else to do something. And before I knew it, it was like, yo, if you starting with excuses, you got a whole different set of problems, because there's all kind of world-renowned artists that started with the bare essentials, and sometimes even without the essentials. The concept of certain producers not even having, like, Teddy Riley was talking about just using the Casio keyboard. It's like, yo, it was sounds on it, so we figured out how to make a beat. Like the show was made on a Casio keyboard, the little plastic joints. One of the most revered songs in hip hop was made on a plastic piano that the snobs and like musicians would turn their nose up at. But because it's all this kid had access to, he figured out how to make and produce a lot of that Keith Sweat shit on there too. So you like, okay, all right. So when you hear stories like that. And I know for me, where I started at with, before I even had somebody else's laptop, having to sneak in the studio and like practice machine for hours until until another session was coming in, like in between other people's sessions. Like, you just make do with what you have and don't really trip off what's not there. Can you talk about that for you? Because how many shows like show concepts have you had? If from my count it's like around 5. I could be way off though.
Yeah, I think we could call it 5. Okay. We have this conversation all the time. It's hard to keep track of everything because you do something and you're not necessarily really harping on what you've actually done, and not even harping, but even just reminiscing because you're so focused on what you're doing next. So yeah, I don't think about it enough to have a number. So yeah, we'll call it 5. I like 5.
But so what you've been able to do is like you've taken your thoughtfulness, your genius, and how you think about different things, especially around music and entertainment, and and have packaged it in a way and have had the cold contact some of the artists that maybe at that time weren't as big as they are now, but you heard it or saw it or felt it, and you were like, yo, they're gonna be something. I need to talk to them. That resourcefulness, like what about it? What about it is sort of enticing to you to not make excuses, just to sort of find a way? And how have you seen that in with some of the artists that you've interviewed? Is that a trait or a commonality that you can say is definitive or no?
Yeah, I mean, even you were talking about as far as you and L, like, I think it's really a part of people who, you know what I mean, have just experienced things to where it's like, okay, I've experienced whatever I've experienced either in childhood or early adulthood or whatever. Now it's like there's just no excuses. Like, and it's almost not even a thought process. Like, I think about a lot, like, there's so many people who I surround myself with who either won't have pity parties for themselves and don't allow me to even enter that space. And I think that that's part of what you're talking about too, is like, not only am I not going to make excuses, but I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I'm not going to give in to all these other things that either my mind or society wants me to go to. It's really about, I have this goal, I'm going to achieve it, come hell or high water, we're going to find a way. So I think it's part of that. And even, you know, you talking about like trying to put it together and Teddy Riley, like, that's all of what hip hop was when it started. Every single part of it was like, well, we have this and we're going to do it. And it's like, to me, that's super inspiring because that's how things get done. And that's how, you know, so many years later, we're here and it's the biggest fucking genre. So it's like, that's just how things work in my mind. But yeah, it's, to me, it's really about like, not even so much hearing someone and being like, oh, you know, you're going to be someone. Like, I hear something and go, oh, this is incredible. Not this person's going to be incredible. They already are. It's already there. Like, there's already something that's resonating. There's already a voice that's coming through, an expression. There's something that's already happening. And yeah, when I feel it kind of thing. It's just it's a super cool experience. Like, I think we all have different albums and projects where, you know, you can remember exactly where you were and you can, you know, visualize things and feel how you felt and go back to a time where you felt that. And, you know, just feeling the music is so important. So yeah, I think I answered that.
Nah, you nailed it, special.
Yeah, nah, you smashed that out the park.
No, we appreciate you. You know how I feel about you. I absolutely adore you. I just ordered the Sophia Chang book. I'm not sure if you read it yet, but you're the first person I thought of when I got it, and I can't wait to get it and sort of speed through it. Just because of what she's meant to hip hop, what I feel like you mean specifically to hip hop, and like the literary portion of documenting these spaces. We didn't have that person, and then I met you and I was like, oh shit, we do. So I appreciate you, everything you've done for me, and the wisdom, and in what you continue to do for creatives, and carving out space and making it make sense, building networks, reminding us about the currency of networking and continuing to build and share. So special. I love you. Tell Jeremy we need to get together ASAP, because he's the photos and shit he's been doing are amazing. So I need to tap in with bro ASAP. So
I have to tell you, he was actually so excited that you were calling me today that, like, we split the line and he's listening in right now.
Oh
like,
shit!
Hey.
What's up? What's up with bro?
What's good?
How you been, man?
I don't know if you could hear.
Another one of my favorite artists. The photos that you've been taking. I forgive my ignorance. Are you shooting all film right now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
But it's weird. Like, I'm stockpiling right now because all the labs are shut down.
Yeah.
So I'm just shooting and not putting anything out.
Because
the film shooters right now are like on some weird shit.
Yeah, you were kicking them out at crazy, like, high volume, and then where did you go down to Diego, or was Abjo up here? Where did y'all link at and do all those photos at?
Oh, that was up here. That was up here.
Okay, yeah, that's so crazy. I wanted to tell. I was gonna have a special related message, but you've been killing it. You can never really tell if your enthusiasm for somebody's work is being conveyed through the socials. So.
Hey man, I appreciate that. I'm gonna keep them coming too.
Nah, definitely, man. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of the day. We're gonna knock out the rest of the pod. Spesh, thank you, and then we'll talk soon.
Definitely appreciate y'all.
I love you. Thank you. This is great. What you guys are doing are great. I'm so excited to listen to this week's episode. So thank you guys. Thank you.
The first part is a little struggle. Like they went in, so just bear with the crazy stories. Like I promise I ain't like that no more. I'm saved now.
Devil, I rebuke you.
All right, y'all.
All right,
y'all.
That was great.
That was great.
Shout out Spesh. Shout out Jerem.
She killed that.
Nah, those are two like seriously thinkers, creatives, people that just do really special shit. What did y'all feel about that? Because that's just something I stumbled upon. It's like if you starting at excuses, fam, we got way bigger problems than like you wanting to be successful. Because it's just like, do you really want to do this? It sound like you're trying to talk yourself out of it when you go, man, but I ain't got this. When I get this, and it's like that's not how that works, right? Like if you have, I'll never forget. I tell this all the time. Morgan was like, "Yo, man, you want to rap? I learn how to make a beat. You sitting here waiting for niggas to send you beats, man. You ain't gonna never get a rap off. Like, nah, man. When I get the right beat, I'm out of here. I'm gonna be signed. Like, that's not how that works. So Morg, I come home one day and then he just the beat machine was there, and it was like, I don't know what to do with this. It's like you better figure it out. And it was days of just like this is terrible. Like I wish I could find like that first terabyte hard drive has some of the worst shit on it, bro. And then the next terabyte hard drive has some of the worst shit on it. Like we're talking about 10 years, and I'm just now in a space where I'm like, them beats okay. Like, yeah, I'm still not even like, but the constantly like chipping away, and that's just from a music perspective or a writing perspective, and like going to spaces where you feel like people are way talented. And shout out to Jay Hint. It's going down now. And I think that's a lot where this is deriving from, is like going to see people like that who in the Bay, we acknowledge Jay Hint as one of the best thinkers and creatives and like people to produce music. This nigga goes to LA and goes, yeah, I'm trash, bro. And I was like, yo, if you're saying that, I need to be up every morning working on shit. Like if somebody I think is the nigga is like, I'm down here, and it's like you can stumble into somebody that's a world-class musician. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just from a music standpoint, but from a life standpoint, I've never really dealt well with why something can't happen, because I've only ever known how to figure the shit out, and I only know niggas who know how to figure it out. So it feels weird to me to start with the excuse as to why it can't be done. Tell me why it can be done. Why it can be. You telling me it can't be done is only gonna make me go do the shit. You know.
Well, since we being honest, when you told me your idea for Global,
yeah,
I had no clue how I was about to do this shit.
Man, that's crazy.
But I wasn't like, I'm not gonna do this shit.
Damn, I never would have known you was feeling like that.
Yeah, nah. I was like in this whole space of, all right, I just need to see the space, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And that was another reason why I was like, just give me a little bit of time so I can map this out.
Yeah.
But once I seen the space, then it just starts clicking. But I'm the same way. If you start off telling me, oh, I can't do it, then yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah. I don't want you nowhere near around me if all you have is like why something can't happen. Because I know so many people who start with, like you, for example, that video, Lex, I worked at the Pit. Who people don't know what we're talking about. That wasn't the first video we did together.
That was the first video.
Jesus. So, LMA, one of my favorite projects I've ever done. Shout out to Half Black. I'm working at Casey's Barbecue. All the old historical artifacts that they had in that place, it has since burned down. But you're talking about original stoves, clock radios, jukeboxes. You name it. It was lined with all this memorabilia, a wagon, like all this amazing stuff that just set the scene for this great epic story. And I worked there for a few years, and I would just, especially when I was working the front, I would just kind of daydream just looking at that place like, yo, there's a story in here. And when the album came out, it was like unanimously that was everybody's favorite song. And Lex and I had been talking about doing something together for a minute, and then finally one day I called him and was like, yo, bro, I got it. And just kind of roughly ran down this vague-ass open-ended idea as I often do. And he's like, I'll come by tomorrow or something like that. And you came with these booklet of paper, and we talked for a minute, and then you like, yo, if you don't mind, I'm going to just sit here. And then I just kind of left the nigga there and like, hey, you need anything? Kind of bring him stuff every once in a while. Yeah. But he was just kind of sitting there doing like this. And then this fool fleshed out the whole treatment and then went home and storyboarded it. And I was like,
with the worst drawings you'll ever see.
But he did it though.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter. It didn't have the tech computer to make the digital storyboard. This nigga drew that shit by hand. It's like, yo, this is what it should be. And the first thing he says is like, yo, please forgive the drawings. And G, for whatever reason, I couldn't look. Like the drawings, I saw it clear as day. Like it was like, it may as well have been the video because it was so methodical and he had taken the time to plan it out. And another example of that, of just resourcefulness, is the summer you broke your thumb. I think we probably told this on the podcast before, probably a million times. But he breaks his thumb, and then I'm like, oh, well, shit, we kicking it all summer. This nigga don't want to hoop. It was like, nah, we definitely gonna hoop, and I'm just gonna play 1-on-1 with my left hand all summer. It's like, fuck, this nigga don't take no days off, man. Like you're not gonna rest. Fuck for what? And it proceeded to kick my ass for an entire summer with just his left hand. I'm inferior, like. The maddest I've ever been, dog. But it just, so if that's where you starting from, what you gonna tell me? What conversation can I have with you about why something can't be done? Oh man, I don't have the latest plug-in. Fuck that plug-in. Oh man, I don't have the latest. Dog. That's what instruments are for. That's what like just go please go find a way. Like I think people are missing the part with all this access to technology and shit. It's like, oh man, I don't have the right camera. I just got done. Jeremy was like shooting like cats are going back to film. Like the film realm is such a specific sort of medium because you got to actually like, especially if you develop in your own film too. It's real love and care in that. You know, some of the chef homies like it's like my favorite show right now during the quarantine is like. They call it just what's in the kitchen. Like whatever is in your kitchen, you got to make something out of, and it's like you better figure it out. And so that's the way creativity feels to me. It just feels like one of those things like fuck the tools right now. Steve Lacy made his whole fire ass album on his phone. It's just there's ways, and granted, like I get it, like. Maybe that's I probably sound spoiled as fuck telling people it probably sounds like pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I hope it don't sound like that. It does it? Am I teetering that? Nah. Because if I am, y'all got to just tell me because I can understand why people say, nigga, you sound Republican right now. Like
nah, not at all because I would double down on that and go even harder. So like I have zero sympathy for anybody's situation, bro. Like that's not what folks need. Like as much as
you may want it,
the
coddling and so forth, yeah.
Which I get it. If you see folks that have safety nets, then it could make you envious in a way because no matter how many times you fuck up, you have somebody to catch you, and then those be the ones that be speaking the loudest about like, you know, the shit that they don't get to do and have, and or they be telling you how to do some shit, and it'd be like, what you mean, my nigga, like. Nigga, they fronted you the cash for it. Nigga, what you mean? You had to go so hard back in. Nigga, when, bro? Your parents just gave you some shit. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like when you start going through the story, but that's going too far. Like, if you get caught up in somebody else's life on some shit, then you're going way too far down the hole. Like, you got to be thinking about yourself, bro. And like, how can you put your best foot forward? And I think people get kind of lost in that. Is like. And instead of putting your best foot forward and figuring out how to gradually, I guess, add to what your best is for your best time, your best work that you can do, whatever your best beat that you can make. By like just it's continuously putting your work in for yourself. I think people get caught up in what other people have and final results and shit like that, and they want that. They want that just
completely disregarding those people's process.
Completely.
Like I want what you
that's
got.
That's the disrespectful shit. Not money talk about pull yourself by your bootstraps. It's the fact that you think that you should have those straps already, bro. Nigga, that shit's bullshit. My nigga, if you get to see anybody that's nice with it, anybody that get to sit back now or whatever it is, bro, like, or just get the accolades, like instead of being like, nigga, you know, they got all this and I ain't got this. You know what I mean? Like, figure out what it is that you really want.
Yeah.
And are you willing to do the things that person did in order to get that?
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah, I mean, that's a real question. Because I think a lot of these people that be worried about be really worried about this shit is the same folks that will be playing the lotto. You know what I mean? Like, they basically just need cash because they think that's going to bring them happiness. I don't think it's the actual work, though. Like, I don't think they actually want the process.
Fuck, man.
Which is confusing as hell because they be talking.
They talk like
they will confuse you with the talk.
Yeah.
But I don't think they really want it.
Damn, we talked about that last night. We talked about that at length too. Whenever I'm engaging with a friend, with a lover, you name it, a partner of any sort, I'm only regurgitating back what you told me what the fuck you wanted to do. At no point am I projecting what I think you should be doing onto you. It's just not. I got a bunch of friends that don't aspire to do. They just aspire to do regular shit. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Which is just fine.
There's nothing wrong with that at all, my nigga. Do that shit. I commend it. But my partners that go, hey man, Lex, yo, money, I got the show idea, nigga. Write the script. This nigga sent me the whole series. It's like, wait, nigga, whoa, okay. It's like, yo, Poe, yeah, man, I'm gonna start this company, man. Every time I see him, yo, how this shit going? Yeah, man, it's cool. And then he's like, man, thanks for tapping in. Like, just checking in on the process of it. And when I start taking the beat making shit serious, Poe, every Friday night after a long ass week of work, go grab a bottle, pull up, stick an L, pull up right next to him. The niggas was sitting there and listening to them trash ass beats. It's like, fuck, nigga, you said you wanted to make beats, nigga. How many beats you make today, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, we went to the Diego trip. Mm-hmm. It's like I had already set the 5 beats a day thing, and I couldn't not do it. Especially that was such a pivotal time too, because it was like I was finally cracking that hump of like I kind of am in control. It's not just random anymore. Mm. So when we got to Diego, it's like, nigga, we fucking around. This nigga got this headphones on, but I'm hearing it in our moment. We kicking it, but I gotta stick to this regiment. And it wasn't the first time I felt supported by y'all, but it was the first time as an adult male I calculated like how insulated I was. Cause I felt like any other scenarios, like, man, turn that shit off, man. Fuck you doing? Like I've heard so many stories that I've experienced those moments so much where it's like, bro, nobody want to hear that shit right now. But I think I felt more supported that weekend. I don't know if it's just what we were going through, but it was just I was in a space.
Yeah, that was a pivotal weekend, bro. I think for the cast,
yeah,
which we tend to have, bro. When we go on our trips, we tend to have like these aha moments, yeah. Which is cool. Is that just lets you know how strong the cipher is. But I can agree with that because I do remember when Manny was going through that or whatever on that trip, and I kind of feel like that was like shit. Just those trips used to be important with the shit that I was going through too. Like I would just be in the house, you know what I mean? Yeah. So some of those trips would just be like, nigga, I'm trash when it comes to like social environments right now, but like we gonna go out there and struggle through it and figure the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like my
Diego was a struggle too,
bro. Like
in all the best of ways. Like sure. not in a. I was happy to be there with y'all, but I hadn't been outside in months at that point.
Yeah, so just out there bumping your head, but I think it's just I
slept on a street that night. Jesus, I gotta stop. Maybe I do have a problem. Now that we're talking about it, now we're living it, now we're walking it backwards. Maybe I got an issue.
That's what this
we all
podcast is
been
for,
there.
man.
You know who has bigger issues than me though? Wale. Why Wale can't get the break, man?
Because he light skin, dark skin.
Oh shit. Wale's
wait
light
to
skin,
hear
dark
this.
skin. I can't wait to hear this. Tell me more.
He's the lightest dark skin I know, bro.
He's the lightest dark skin I know.
Well, that nigga want to be Drake so bad.
Don't say that.
But he want to be dreaded Drake though.
Don't say that.
Like he want to have all the tennis. Like he want to have all the shit that you get. Like he want to have all the hard shit that you get from being like dark skin. But he want to have like the personality of like, and this is like full blown stereotypical shit. So I don't give a fuck. But like, you want to have all like the personality traits of like being light skinned and having all the girls like you and people being appreciative of every walk that you take and blah they blah. But then don't want you to talk about that. They'll talk about their personality because nigga, I'm dark skinned with dreads, nigga. I'll beat your ass. That's how the nigga be moving.
I didn't expect that today. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I just don't.
I'm coming out of my my haze.
He up now.
Tom Shepton came back.
Enough coffee.
I knew we would have a great discussion around Wale not being able to catch a break, but holy fuck, like
that's my nigga though, bro. Like I hella fuck with Wale's music.
Yeah.
I just hate that he doesn't. And J. Cole said this shit all the time, bro. Like Friends is about that type of shit. Like my nigga, I don't get why you don't just appreciate your intellect, bro. Like your intellect is up here.
Yeah.
My nigga, act as if it's that way, bro.
Yeah.
Like you keep getting caught up in like all this
that's below you.
all this below
you.
like all this shit that other people is talking about, my nigga. You gotta operate, nigga, up here at all times because that's where your mental is. Like why you keep taking steps backward or looking backwards with these low end topics?
I want to attempt to defend.
Go for
Wale.
it, please.
But all the while questioning some shit though.
Yeah.
What is it that makes us? Is it innate in all of us to naturally shit on what we do have in the process of trying to obtain some shit that just ain't for us? And I use Wale as that example because you're right. Because of because of the class that he's in, the Cuddies, the Drakes, the Dots, like that. That's a very specific class that they kind of get looked at different. And so he takes it personal that he doesn't get mentioned with them as much as he should when he's the more consistent one that's kept the number one hit for real. So I understand his plight, but
By who?
no. I'm getting there. Because you're right. Like who are these critics that you have built up? And in fairness, there is a whole Twitter universe that don't fuck with Wale. So I get it. But turn the phone off. And listen to the niggas that do fuck with you. Like I know a lot of Wale fans.
And even some of those people on Twitter, they just having fun shitting on Wale.
Because they know he gonna
But
react.
then-
It's a good time.
Yeah, but then it's kind of like they putting Wale in Monty mode.
Yeah, it's a good time.
That's why I want to defend him. That's why I want to defend him. Because I fully the fuck. It's gonna reveal a lot about me. That bruh's genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mixtape about nothing, album about nothing, like are some of the festivus like Back to the Future. Oh,
The Gifted.
Man,
Gifted.
that's great.
Oh my gosh. He's another one where we're gonna go back and look at his discography and go, holy fuck. Like that
That LA album where he went to LA and literally just like embodied the LA
scene.
Yeah, bro. Like
so that's his beef. But I've been to a Wale show. It's packed. Again, it's not stadium status and what the other people are doing. But I felt like if he catered to and nurtured his following more as opposed to always entertaining what's not being done and who's not there, he'd have the Tyler effect, if you will. Like it felt like Tyler was like, all right, I know y'all don't fuck with me, but it's a whole bunch of people that do. Let me go just talk to them. Cole, it's a lot of people like Cole. The same shit that Wale got, Cole was getting too. Cole just handled it different.
Money.
Go ahead.
Do you know the type of tangents that Wale goes on? Like,
Yeah.
my nigga got angry.
The most frivolous shit.
Bro, my nigga got angry that niggas wasn't giving him the credit for his shoe game. Like, he thought that people are sneakerheads because of him. These are the type of tangents that my nigga go on. Like, I get it. Maybe
But
you
who
believe,
cares? But who
maybe you believe
cares?
it. Yeah,
But who cares? You're right. You're right.
Because if you're going on something as frivolous
Clark-
as that, then you
'cause-
for sure gonna do your music.
Because Clark Kent acknowledges Wale. That in itself should be enough. The fact that Clark acknowledges you, nigga, it shouldn't matter after that. If the shoe thing is a real thing to you, never mind. You're right. I can't defend it. I want to so bad, but I can't. It's indefensible. But Sue Me is a great video.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Sue Me's an excellent video.
I think he just focuses on the negative way too much. Like you said, if he spent more time just focusing on the positive light of shit and then focusing on his fan base, and every time if he just focused on his fan base, I feel like his fans will start attacking everybody
For
just
him.
like how
For sure.
Speaking
For
for
sure
Jay-
would have the hive on. Like,
exactly just like
there's
how J.
definitely a Wale
Cole.
hive.
But I feel like his fans are like, I'm not gonna say nothing because he about to go on 12 any second,
Yeah.
and then I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he's not
get-
gonna justify me going to bat for him right now. My nigga about to go. He about to fuck us up.
Damn.
Just let him get past his little thing and then he'll be back.
Who?
But yeah, but don't get it twisted though. Hella fuck with.
Nah,
Wale, bro. Like this is all constructive. This is all appreciation. Tell you the truth, bro. Like, cause it's so against my mental that's the reason why. Truthfully, like I am the most anti person that you'll come across, and I can care less. Like I fuck with the people that fuck with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and I appreciate that.
Fuck with who fuck with you.
But the people
That's-
that don't, it doesn't really factor.
That also feels like another part of to keep bringing up Black as fucking Kenya, like another one of those things that is a byproduct of slavery, like this innate need to be accepted in places that just aren't for us. I suffer from that at times. I don't know how many other people have experienced that, just like continuing seeking acceptance. And it's when you got people that genuinely love you and you over here going, hey, look at me, like, bruh, fuck out of here. Go back to where they fuck with you at and continue to grow that and nurture that. It's heartbreaking to see someone so brilliant suffer so much unnecessary sort of commentary when you make brilliant shit. Like the conversation around Sue Me should just be what a great video it was. Like an excellent treatment, an excellent story, an excellent song. That entire album is incredible.
Do you think
That's crazy.
Do you think that once again white people feel attacked?
From that,
Yes.
I imagine they do. Do we care? Is the question.
That part.
Yeah.
But cause are we kind of getting into that space now where there's so much acceptance across the world for so many things that naturally there's gonna be pushback for that. You feel me? Cause like
It has to be. It already. So Kenya. So that Sway asked Kenya, how can you say I hate white people and then not expect? Why can't a white person say, oh, I hate black people on TV? It's just not the way it works. The satire of it is not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hate black people. Like, it's just not funny. I hate white people is hilarious, but it's not. And the funny thing is, especially in that scene, and Kenya said it best. He's like, I'm not talking about white people. He's talking about the whiteness that is pop culture. How things get engulfed and become just how whiteness can engulf something. That's what that means. Whereas if somebody were to say I hate black people, they mean they hate black people because our blackness don't engulf shit and make it mainstream.
yeah, I mean, don't you think that like our freedom of speech and freedom of movement is our reparations? Like if anything, like we should have the ultimate like green light to be able to kind of operate within the lack of racism that we can have. You know what I mean? Like I think at least that like at the bare minimum is that what we can operate with
Yeah.
freely.
And then just not having to explain it, that like it's like watching Sue Me from beginning to end. What is your beef with that, other than an epic depiction being made and a correlation being made that otherwise wouldn't have been if no one did it? Let me invert everything that
in a different world, black people would be cops.
Tell me more. Help me understand. What do you say? What do you?
I mean, like in the world that he created, that would be the profession for black people.
But he took it. It didn't just stop there. It was like the whiteness that engulfs pop culture and sort of the images we get to see. My favorite part,
like attorneys and
that's my favorite part of the video is when the white kid is walking out of the subway and is rushed by all the Wall Street sort of dressed up bros that's bumping him and kind of disregarding his existence. Yeah, it's like something as subtle as that is enough. It should be enough imagery to understand how whiteness sort of occupies everything.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
How that can be misconstrued and kind of flipped on its head and be disregarded is beyond me. But trust me, it can be. You know what I'm saying? People will find a way to do that. So I just want to commend, bro, for continuing to.
Yeah, I like this. I like the symbolism, but I would like to see just like a full video of just white cops arresting white people. That's all I want to see. Like, we don't need to arrest you, my nigga. We don't give a fuck. But I just want to see your people arrest you. I want to see your people harass you. That'll be great. But that's like the next step.
I feel like that's telling another story.
Yeah, no, that's a different story from this one, but for sure. But I would like to for sure see that imagery because there needs to be more of like there needs to be more programming that these things can happen. You know what I mean? Like you should be just as fearful as a white person walking this earth when having to deal with the person that's supposed to be serving the public as we do. Like when we be walking around, my nigga, like I don't even acknowledge the fact that that's even a thing, but there is a thing. You know what I mean? And it'd be nice to, since I operate in a level of freedom myself, because I know that I can articulate it. I would like to see the equal side of that being the fear of walking around this place, and not by the skin of black people, but of your own race, that you have to worry about them like you feel like you have to worry about us, or that we actually have to worry about them. Thanks. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So that'd be interesting. What
would also be interesting is if somebody dare try to release Tropic Thunder today. Am I alone in remembering that movie to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen?
It is.
And I also correct in remembering being in on the joke of Robert Downey doing blackface and going, this is fucking hilarious. But understanding that the joke wasn't on black people, it was on Hollywood and its whiteness. Am I wrong in remembering that way?
No, definitely.
The whole movie is basically in some sort of way making fun of Hollywood.
Yeah. When the entire thing is. And so, damn.
Shout out to Ben Stiller for that.
That's a really good point. That entire movie is making fun of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so what
that was Ben Stiller being anti-Hollywood at that point. That nigga's still that way right now, but that's why he for sure doesn't get the roles he used to get anymore.
Where do we land on that story as black men, yo? Like, I can't let nobody rewrite what that shit meant for me and my niggas in college and watching it every day for like 3 weeks straight, laughing hysterically.
It was one of the funnier movies, man.
And this is before like doing drugs and shit. This is just us like natural, just like this shit is hilarious, bro. And so now the woke kids are finding it and going, how y'all let Robert Downey get away with this? Not understanding.
Did they watch it?
That's what I was gonna say. Most of them haven't even watched.
They just seen the memes and shit.
They just see the picture, and they don't even understand that there's an actual black actor in there.
Yeah,
who's talking shit to him
the whole time,
the whole movie.
Yeah,
about how
Brandon T don't get enough kudos for that. He acted the fuck out of that role.
Yeah. He did.
That's a great.
He was on his head.
I'm not tripping. That movie was fucking awesome.
No, it was a great movie. Definitely.
So how much dialogue do we have to enter in with people who have zero regard for context?
Damn. That's
I mean, they have the loudest voice, I would say.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the unfortunate part. Like, they got the loudest voices and don't invest anything into the context.
Well,
they just can take
ignorance has the loudest voices. Like that's just ignorance in general. I think people that don't know what they're talking about speak very loud. Like they are ready to argue some shit to the grave. Where I think you get exhausted a lot quicker when you know what you're talking about. Because at some point, ignorance is going to win. I feel. That's just me though. I don't know how y'all feel about that. But arguing till you're blue in the face with somebody who is not even capable of registering what you're saying, or not deciding to become capable to register what you're saying, is I think a level of insanity is somewhere in there.
And how do you combat that? By just not engaging, right? Is it as simple as that?
I mean, if you want to keep your sanity, yeah. But some people got that. Some people really just have that gene where if they feel right, they want to be right by any means. So you're gonna find some people that probably know what they're talking about that will argue till they're blue in the face with somebody that has no clue, and then the person that has no clue is probably gonna pick up on the fact that you really care about this topic, and I'm about to troll the fuck out of you even further. And I would love to see where you combust that. You know what I mean? Like, because if you're right and you're willing to argue somebody to the death, my nigga, I best believe you're going to die before the person that's ignorant, because they're not putting as much energy into this as you are.
What's that saying? You can't argue with a fool.
You can't.
Because from afar you can't tell who's who. Yeah. Wise man told me don't argue with fools because from afar you can't tell who's who. Huh.
Look at that.
Damn. This nigga always does this shit, because now I'm just like, that's it. That's the mic drop. There's nothing to say beyond that. I always want to go, but then what? That feels like some shit I gotta work on, because there ain't no, and it was like, no nigga, you just can't engage. You can't. That's the Wale shit. You can't engage. It's as simple as that, and you kind of gotta let everything else speak for itself. But what are you to do, G? But here's the but again.
Go for it.
What are you to do? And I don't know if this might be rhetorical. Maybe I'm just throwing it out to throw it to the room. But if we know that a live can circle the world before the truth even gets out the bed, the fuck what am I supposed to do with that? It feels like It feels like I could lose the race every day then, if I'm just banking on just playing it the right way. Maybe I'm got it fucked up. Maybe playing it the right way ain't the same as not engaging with silly shit. Maybe those are just two different things. Huh.
I mean, I think they both can operate in the same world, to tell you the truth, because I think we just forget just how many fucking people are out here, bro. Like, there's a lot of people here. So you can still speak the truth, even to the full, but recognize when the fool is taking advantage of this situation. Like, initially, if you didn't realize that was a fool that you're talking to, then yes, hit them with your knowledge and truth. But somewhere in that conversation, you're supposed to pick up on where there is no win in this. But you said it. You set the piece to the point for yourself,
man,
to be okay with it.
Man.
To be okay with the separation from this particular topic. You don't have to do away with the fool.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the answer. I think you still need to engage, because you don't know if the fool has the strand to at some point become enlightened. You have zero clue.
Man.
So it's still good for you to operate on what your role is in this world. You still be that light and that force.
Facts.
And then just meet, then y'all just meet and then just see what happens. But keep doing it though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like keep facing off. Just keep facing off.
Yeah.
But just don't stay engaged for hella long. Like, I think the engagement is the problem.
It's another one is it's like bringing the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If the fool is the horse, you can give him the knowledge, and it's up to him to choose to accept it. But after you give him the knowledge, you don't gotta keep trying to push it down their throat.
Well, that leads because there's only two more I really want to get to. I want to get to male fragility.
Before that, what is that that saying? Like, is it like gerrymandering? Is that they do in the court where they just keep talking in order to allow time to lapse?
That's a hell of a term. Maybe it is. I have no idea.
I feel like that is what it is, but you can go ahead. I'm just
but in that realm, in terms of just retaining information, knowledge, unconventional genius is something that I've been thinking about lately too. Mm-hmm. Just rethinking what we classify as genius and what we're able to identify as genius. Finishing that Gucci autobiography.
Yes, sir.
There's some genius there, right? Am I wrong in thinking that? Like, just being able to identify certain shit. And
that's an enigmatic personality, bro.
Yeah. It's flawed. Don't get me wrong. It has its shortcomings, but not by a long shot. And I'd like to say, we were talking about Kodak Black last night too. All kind of issues around that kid. But the way he sort of set the artists that are on his label up prior to going to prison this last time is kind of ingenious.
Triple X.
It's unconventional. It doesn't really look like, it's not packaged the way we necessarily want it to be, but it's genius nonetheless when you get this breaking down lyrics and tactics. I remember the Triple X and his crew talking about how the meetings they would have. They would have these way before the quarantine. They would have these Zoom-like meetings, from people around the world. Mm-hmm. And depending on what region you were in, dictated when you would either repost or like or engage with the music. And they just had this cycle of it was like it started out with just 30 of them. And it was like, yo, they had figured out the algorithm is like, yo, if we get so many people to engage with this post, the first few seconds it's up, it gets pushed to the top of the algorithm and more people see it. And so they just had this group chat of whenever they shared something, and they had cycles, they had content calendars like, yo, this one we gonna run it. And the shit worked. These are some kids. Mm-hmm. Again, with the unconventional genius. So maybe we gotta just rethink as we reevaluate the landscape for industries, right? Where as many as our products are produced overseas, primarily in China, we got to rethink these landscapes and kind of start reevaluating what can be produced here. We can't keep looking at conventional education methods and what we identify as like genius, because I forget who it was doing an interview, but they tested so high, but were ultimately put in special ed classes. They tested really high for the IQ test, and they did really well in the SAT. And you know what I'm saying? Just kind of rethinking, like, damn, what do we deem and determine as genius? And not forget even genius though, just being smart, emotional intelligence. We need to reevaluate these things and not make it so universal. And not even the methods of teaching mad universal, the places in which these levels of intellect can access for work and support. Mm-hmm. Maybe we need a fresh set of eyes in the automotive industry to sort of repurpose and rethink building cars here. It's an industry that's, especially like the electric shit. Maybe we need to rethink that. This fact that iPhones, everybody's got phones, and now is there a single phone that's made in the States? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
That's kind of crazy, man.
Nah, that'd be crazy to make a phone in the States.
Yeah. What does that look like? You know, and I don't know. How many more jobs does that industry produce? I know a lot of the machinery and studio stuff is usually from Germany.
They just wouldn't
and
last in the States. That's the only thing.
They wouldn't.
Like, you'd have to change policies to be able to do it, but it just wouldn't last. Like, the problem that we come up with product making is that for you to receive investments, you have to figure out a way to provide a return on your investment to your investors.
Yeah.
And you can't do a lot of that with in-state products. There's just not enough of
a margin.
Of a
There's
margin.
not a margin, yeah. And that's the issue. That's the issue that where you can get labor so dirt cheap in these other countries as they're able to keep building, and not to make this as a compete, we are number one sort of thing, but as you keep outsourcing these jobs, the information, the innovativeness, our innovation is the only thing that's saving us.
Right.
The second we're no longer the innovators of this shit, we're fucked.
Completely.
We're fucked. So right now, while we got it, we need to figure out some brilliant fucking, because these kids that figured out TikTok ain't just putting up no video, fam. These kids is fucking doing film editing. Mm-hmm. That's not just a quick upload of the video.
I heard that in order to like work TikTok, you gotta be pretty advanced.
Come on, man. We gotta rethink these industries. We have to. In order to generate, there shouldn't be the shortage of jobs as they are, but the cost of living is through the roof. So you naturally got to increase the minimum wage. You have to increase the workers' ability to earn in order to live, to compete. But you just said it, the profit margins aren't enough for the company. So it's just like, all right,
it comes down to greed, bro.
Greed.
Like you gotta put a cap, but we're a capitalist state, so you can't put a cap on
capitalist country.
Capitalist country. I mean, so you can't put a cap on it. So naturally, they're just going to try to get as much as possible because they're looking at something completely different. Like the list that they're looking at is nuts. Like when you start looking at in the world, you are in the top 1,000 in the entire world. Yeah. That's a whole nother group that we don't have any clue about. You know what I mean? Like what they operate, how they operate is so different from the rest of the landscape. Yeah. So it's so many factors, bro. Special was talking about the radio station. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that stuff right there, like it's so much money involved. It's crazy. Like
ad dollars driving everything. And we keep overlooking that step. He's like, yo, want to be in the music industry. Are you aware how advertising works? Are you aware how ad dollars work? Ad dollars make this motherfucker go. The presidential election is centered around ad dollars. The news shows your grandparents consume on 24-hour watch is dependent upon ad revenue.
Bro,
who's spending the most money with me?
I was just looking at the My Pillow guy. That was a
crack.
Junkie. Did he become a
from crack to
300 mil? but that his company put $100 million into infomercials. Yep. And that equated to making his net worth what it was the amount of money that they drove into this one part of marketing for them that showed the results that they were looking for, which is nuts.
Bro, if you're going to play.
Go hard or go home.
If you're going to play. Don't have
that big baller brand thing was so important.
Don't have a little bit of debt. Have a lot of debt. Fuck
hey,
it.
Man.
They're not going to let
bro. Here.
They're not going to let nothing happen to you. You owe them folks too much money. They're not going to let shit happen to you. Male fragility, G. I need you to lead this. for a couple reasons. But most importantly, because when we don't have women here for these discussions, I feel away. Because I'm not gonna be able to censor them. Like once we start, I'm not gonna be able to stop. So I'm gonna say some shit that's gonna offend somebody. This is gonna happen because we shooting the shit just like it's the fellas, and that's what happens. It's like, yo, niggas talk like this, but I feel like there is something beneath the surface that I hope our listenership can gauge, right?
I think so. Like they fuck with us as far as like they fuck with the show, but they also like fuck with us, like fuck with our personalities because I think they do know like our heart is in a good place. But I for sure know that the women that listen to this show,
they have a hard time, man.
No, but they definitely. I mean, I've gotten it over
so many topics,
so many topics, but definitely over like feminism. And like,
do we get that wrong every time for that?
Bro, I did label myself as a feminist, but then on some topics I am so overwhelmingly myself on, like a African American straight male. That shit exudes out of me on certain topics. So naturally there's no fucking way that I could even recognize a feminist angle from this particular topic. Given who I came from and what was put in front of me from a young age, bro, I'm walking back so many things that like doesn't even like, you know, like I'm constantly working on that, but it still just comes out as much as I would like to, you know, know all and be all for women. It's kind of tough in some topics, but because I got hit over the head over that for the draft night shit.
The draft night shit. What happened to draft night?
Like how the women were acting on draft night.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I highlighted the women's actions instead of like how the how the male put the female in that type of situation. You know what I mean? So we always highlight what the woman did in a lot of those topics. And I just say it because that's just funny. That like
it's as simple as
like
that.
it was simple as that. Like that's the funnier angle. But then they're like, so but why is that funny? You know what I mean? Like that's because the nuance of it is hilarious at this point because you have to recognize how ridiculous it is from now. So, you know, right? Damn. So like it I was like, you got a point. You got a point. You know what I mean? It did like that. That kind of took you down a wormhole.
So this is how we got here.
No, I got here. I got here because this is actually how I got here. This is how I got here because like when in the middle of that conversation, I was trying to highlight that I'm probably the worst of advocates for men because I will call out all men at all times for whatever the hell their actions are. You know what I mean? Like I'm that gung ho when it comes to holding men accountable because I think men need to be held accountable more often and should not look towards the victim side of things as we tend to do because all of the shit, pretty much everything is set up for us to be wrong in a lot of these equations, right? So we tend to act that way when we're dealing with women. But I feel like that's a cop out. So I feel like we don't put enough on ourselves on that one. But the male fragility came in where I was thinking of. Let me just get back to the topic real quick. But I was thinking about like how easy it is for us to because we're so ego driven. How easy it is to play around with that and become cold and then look at our counterpart as like our possession. You know what I mean? So that kind of came together for me from being fragile in the first place to put a possession code on another human being, because you can't take getting to know and understanding everything about this other individual, which we've talked about that before when it came to how much we are for everything that our guys do, but then we'll treat our women counterparts as complete shit. But we spend so much time with them. We spend so much time with them, treating them as shit, and then we'll go with our dudes and like their shit those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird dynamic that we deal with, but that's because we get into those moments, we're basically just massaging each other's egos, and we need our women counterpart to therefore massage it as well. And if they give us any
That's good cop, bad cop. Yeah.
they give us any pushback on that, like, nah, actually, man, you just wasn't shit today.
You know what I've thought about that lately. The fight that the black woman always kind of has to be the bearer of bad news, like, is associated with such doom and gloom. All right, my nigga, here I'm here to hold you accountable. Fuck, here we go. And kind of just has to wear that. It's like, oh man, she's associated with no fun. That's fucked up.
Naturally,
it's a fucked up place to be.
How quickly your mind goes to that. Like, damn, this shit, she's here to suck the life out of me.
Yeah.
But you go into it doing that.
Yeah,
like as soon as it becomes a cohabitation situation is the moment that life starts getting sucked out. And it's weird that that's how our association works. So I just naturally it just popped up because I was just dealing with it when I talk to men about stuff, right? Or that they're bringing up, or if they're posting it, or whatever hell it is, it tends to go on the side of, overwhelming confidence, right? But it's wrapped around a heavy level of insecurity because of how it's being presented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's going towards a woman, going towards a woman. Like, why is there so much anger towards women?
But Monty used to say this shit all the time. He goes, we hate the country as a whole. He would say, hate women, and that shit it made me uncomfortable when he said it. He's like, by the numbers, it's got to be true. Just by the numbers alone, it's got to be true. And I was like, damn. And and I think it bothered me so much because you want to do the thing that bothers me the most that men do is like, oh man, I was raised by my mama, my sisters, but I do it all the time and don't even realize that I'm doing it. I couldn't be toxic because I was, nigga, you're probably the worst. You know, it's the equivalent of the white dude going, I got black friends. I know what they going through. I understand. No, you don't. Yeah. Shut up. Yeah. You do it all the time, but I know with spending so much time with my sister, especially because Nana's personality type is like mad specific. So the way she navigates the world is impressive because she's strong, confident, and articulate. And people go, those are great qualities to have, not for a black woman. Like, they're great qualities for a black woman to have, but it doesn't guarantee an easier path for a black woman.
It puts you behind other women that wouldn't.
That are docile, that can kind of play the role, that can code switch. If you're a black woman that's smart, confident, and don't code switch, God bless you. You got a fight ahead of you.
You're intimidating.
You too strong for your own good. I've heard niggas say that to women, and I've never been more confused in my life. You're too strong for your own. What the fuck does that mean?
And that goes back to me constantly being hard on men. Like, I don't care. I'm probably gonna get killed for it, but I am constantly hard on men because of how fragile that sounds. Like,
how weak that sounds.
Bro, that shit is weak.
It's weak.
Bro.
That's
weak as fuck.
It's weak.
Bro, you are living in a glass house, my man.
What? What? I have to be strong, nigga, because you're weak.
Bro, like,
you're too strong for your own good. Yes, nigga, because you're weak. What the fuck do you mean? Why are you too strong for your own good? That's just... That's the point. I'm compensating for what isn't there. And
Bro,
then
Amy Winehouse said, "You should be stronger than me."
it meant it.
Bro, like her entire song was outlining that, bro, you are fragile.
Yep.
And I have to play the role that I was taught was yours.
Yep.
And it's fucking me up.
Yeah.
Because I want to be with you, but how can I when I'm playing your role traditionally?
But to utter the great Patrice O'Neal's language, it's like that's the type of time niggas got to show up on. Like I'm here to do what the fuck a man is supposed to do. And I know we get weird about those, the labeling and all that, but there's something that cannot be discounted for in a hetero relationship, I will say. And this isn't diminishing anyone. This isn't treating anyone less than. For you niggas that feel like she's too strong for her own good, you show up and watch what happens. Like, oh, that don't always guarantee that. It's gonna be some pushback. That's here we are back at the excuses again. Just show up and be that. And it's like, oh, she ain't allowed me enough space. She didn't allow you enough space, Nick. What? She didn't allow me enough space to be the man I needed to be. All right, man, you got it. I can't argue with you on that one. If that's where you're gonna land at, and that's not to say that it doesn't happen, but it also is to say, let you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just gotta be upfront and not take other people on those journeys with you, I guess. I mean, that would just have to be a journey that you actually got to be on, though. Like, if you're just using that to mask the fact that, nigga, I'm never gonna be that person. Like, nigga, I'm never about to be strong. I'm gonna come across as strong because that's to my niggas.
And that's where the issue lies. There's a lot of people. Man, I tell you, I've had an extreme sort of dynamic and run with relationships and like people that have gone beyond the traditional, like, oh, this is my girl, like some borderline. If people subscribe to that shit, some people you can identify as like friends for a lifetime type shit, whether you still in contact and communication or not. Mm-hmm. But the amount of shit I was able to learn in unveiling certain parts of me, and what I realized is that what there is a lack of opportunity is, what there is a lack of presentation is presenting exactly who you are. There's the mask that comes with courtship. People presenting themselves to be something that they aren't necessarily, and then as that mask comes down, go, why this person don't fuck with me no more? Nigga, because you wore a mask in the beginning. Now that shit's coming off, I see you for real. Fuck we doing? Mm-hmm. I didn't sign up for this part. Should have kept it a buck from go. Now we're here, and it wouldn't be as confusing. And that happens. That's not gender specific. Everybody sort of does it.
Or you could just fake it till you make it.
Like, you can always do that.
If that wasn't who you was starting out, but you were able to get somebody off of faking it, then best believe you should look at all the rest of it as time that you need to make up. Like, nigga, now I got to get to that person that I acted as if I was. So let me just keep working at that each time and keep showing a mask until it actually is who I am. And before long, nigga, that'll actually be you. Or they'll just never pick up on the fact that was you.
Simple as that.
It's that simple, but folks be punting it. Shit start getting hot, they be like, nigga, that's not me.
That ain't me. I didn't mean it. I'll be right back.
As a matter of fact, shit, I gotta work on something.
I'm gonna do one more. We can go. Don't get too high where you can't meet your neighbors, y'all. I just as a suggestion to the wise, like, especially during now, like, I got so high the other night and just I did my normal walk and then try to get adventurous and added some shit and ended up in a part of this area. I was like, oh, this is creepy. And I look creepy walking it. I need to get in the house fast. These people don't know me. Oh, this is weird. But of course, they probably weren't thinking about it like that. But that's how I was receiving. It's like, oh, but everything is heightened when you load it.
You walked into the wrong neighborhood, money?
Dog, being adventures when you high, because everything is motherfucking Mission Impossible.
Right.
Yo, so if something happened, I'm going to scale this wall, and then I'm going to roll on the car, and I got a fully loaded... Nigga, you don't have a gun, first of all. So what are you talking about? And you can't scale a wall. Nigga, what are you talking... But in my mind, I had it mapped out. I had exit strategies. Nobody's following you. My phone might be tapped. Sir, you probably shouldn't smoke no more. Or at the very least, don't go outside.
Don't take no walk.
But then saying scale the wall though.
But then you come back and you're so liberated for you, like, yes, nigga, that was awesome. Let's do it again. No, please don't do it again. Don't. Somebody put the meme up about the first time you do edibles, and it's like, yo, I forget what it was, but the concept was like everybody's first time on an edible, they overdo it. I don't feel it yet. Every time you say that, it's gonna be bad. Names will remain anonymous, but a really dear friend of the show is an excellent cook, and my first time having brownies, made gourmet weed brownies. So normally in a brownie, you can taste it. Like I'd had a little taste of one before, and it was so potent, a little crumb. I was like, I'm not eating no more. This is just too. It tastes like weed. I don't want. It's not good. These were the opposite. These taste like motherfucking brownies, and it had the nerve to put some ice cream on it. So ate like a quarter of the pan, and was like, nigga, he's good. 30 minutes go by. Man, I don't feel nothing. The worst words ever uttered in life. Let me get another quarter of the pan.
Oh shit.
Yo, I saw spaceships on Bankhead, literally, literally. I was in my bathroom in the bathtub doing Cool Runnings, for real. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, like doing the turns and everything, nigga, in the bathroom tripping. And then my last grandstand was like,
whatever you do, bro, just don't go high. Just don't go up. Like, don't hit no rooftops.
G. My last attempt at like getting my life back together was like, I'm gonna go get some air. The air hit, for whatever reason, the air hits you. The weed is in your bloodstream, so that's the thing you don't know at the time. So it ain't nothing gonna help,
right?
No.
Other than just letting it pass.
You just gotta
let it pass. But air, for whatever reason, makes it worse. Oh my god! And then that picture of the Mexican kid where he look at himself in the mirror and he's looking back at the camera, but the nigga's still looking at him. That happened to me for real. So I'm like, yo. So my last effort to save my life, because somebody was coming to kill me, I went in my room. I have a roommate at the time, and I had a study group at my house then. That's how fucked up it was. I had a study group for criminal justice, a criminal law midterm. I was hosting the study. I went in the room, and because somebody was trying to kill me, I barricaded the door. Like, put everything in front of the door. Like, bro, everything.
This is great.
Went in the room, stripped, because I'm like, yo, if they come, I just watched Prison Break. So I was like, nigga, you supposed to strip naked, nigga, and fight, because the guards don't touch you. So that's really what was happening in my mind. So I stripped naked, barricaded the door, and then just waited. And this is where it gets crazy. Then proceeded to yell at the top of my lungs for help. Wait. What? You think that's how that's supposed to go? It's not how that's supposed to go.
Damn.
So, needless to say,
don't eat half the pan.
Yeah,
bro.
don't eat half the pan.
Nah.
Damn.
Yeah. That happened.
That's sick with it.
I'm alive. I'm here to tell the story though.
We've all had them.
Man. Like a partner of mine talk about this is his first time doing shrooms and shit. Like and you did it where? Around buildings?
Oh yeah, no.
My nigga, what was your decision making at,
No,
bro? Like, you must
sir.
have been wilding. Nigga, if you don't go find an open meadow somewhere, just go touch some grass.
An open meadow.
Bro, just go touch some grass, see some
I
hills.
was about to say, get one with nature.
Bro, trees and shit. You get to see like leaves grow.
Oh man. What you guys anything left you want to leave the people with?
Nah, no bingeables.
Oh yeah. What did I watch this week?
Anything good?
What did I watch this week?
I just started watching that show, Upload, on Amazon.
Oh, I just saw the previews for that.
Yeah.
How is it?
So far, the first two episodes seem pretty cool, so I think I'm gonna keep watching it, see where it goes.
Damn, I didn't watch TV this week.
Look interesting.
That's crazy.
You was on a reading tip?
Yeah. But all right. Well,
I'm still on Dexter, so I'm like.
oh, you did start Dexter
I'm
over.
back. I'm background. Shit.
Do you still feel the same?
It's actually even better now.
Is it really?
Just because I know more about stuff, so like it's like seeing
some
it
of the-
now, like it's like I get all the feeling and stuff.
Some of
so
the
it's like-
references.
yeah, like it's all different now.
I never thought about that. So they're doing the rewatchables on the Ringer with Jamel Hill and Van Latham,
Hey,
and who were two of my favorite people to hear talk at length. Both Van and Jamel, but they're doing a rewatchables of The Wire. The Sopranos was on somewhere the other day at one of the studios, and I was like, maybe I should rewatch The Sopranos. And then I was like, I don't know. I wonder how it aged. And then The Wire, for whatever reason, in my mind, didn't age well, but I just watched it 5 years ago, and it was fine.
I think just how it's shot, it feels aged on The Wire at least. Because that's how I felt about Oz.
You rewatch Oz?
No, I started watching like the first few episodes. I couldn't continue to watch it.
Frank said he rewatched all of it, and he said it was like it's just trippy. But I was like, I don't think I could rewatch Oz right now.
No, I'm not watching Oz, but and it's too long. I was watching that, but yeah, no. At least this one, I just like seeing like the going through like the police force and like how it works from like each level is interesting. And then but that's all I've been doing. I got some books I need to be reading, but been doing that. What about you, Lex?
Shit. Other quick random shout out to Netflix. They uploaded a whole bunch of old kung fu movies from like that early 80s to mid 80s.
So did I think I missed the whole kung fu thing.
Most people did, but for me, it was like,
So you remember them as like you were fans of the kung fu movies as a kid?
some of them, the ones I can remember watching, even though I was like 6, so by then they were already 10 years old, 12 years old, but I had 2 older brothers, so they would force me and beat me up and make me watch them. So,
How were you with the kung fu movies, G?
I didn't really watch too many kung fu movies.
Yeah,
I only watched like the popular ones. Like I would probably,
Enter the Dragon and all that shit. Like
Bruce Leroy.
Yeah,
Bruce Leroy for sure. That was a mess though, because
all on accident. It's just like your dad just Pops is watching him, so all right, man, I'll watch it. Like
that wasn't Apollonia, was there? That was his name?
Apollonia is in.
Is it Apollonia or is it Vanity?
No, Apollonia is a Prince.
The Purple Rain. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Vanity.
Huh?
Vanity.
Vanity. Which has a cold story, bro. How did her story go like that?
So tragic.
Damn.
So tragic. Yeah.
It was just moving too fast.
I have no idea.
She must have came from like a small town or something like that, and then Hollywood just ate her ass up.
Yeah, that's how it goes. The bad ones will come from like somewhere tucked, and then get out there, and then get out there.
Yeah,
that makes sense to me. I don't know. I think.
Nah, it do.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm a dude playing a
Playing
dude described as another dude.
And you know who would do it too? It'd be like a director.
Oh, facts.
Or like a producer, like somebody that was behind the scenes, but hella connected.
Turn her out
Real quick.
Turn her out quick.
That's got to be the story of Hollywood. Has anybody done that? Never mind. Say that off. If we don't have anything else, fellas, get out of here. On that note,
Here go your dude, money.
Okay, we're not gonna do this. Not on the pod. Not on the pod. It was bad enough in the group chat the other day. We're not gonna do this. It's been another episode of Meet the Brave. I'm Monty Draper.
I'm LG.
Lex BUB.
And we'll see y'all next week.
Love.
Yes.